Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends of the tourism industry. We at Tourism New South Wales are very excited to host today's lunch and are honoured to see so many of you in attendance. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our new Premier New South Wales, Mr. Barry O'Farrell, and the new Tourism Minister, Mr. George Souris, who we are delighted to have here with us today. We're all excited about a new era in tourism for New South Wales and look forward to hearing more about the recent commitments made by our new government. On that note, I'm honoured to introduce you to the new Premier of the great state of New South Wales, Mr. Barry O'Farrell.
Thank you for that introduction, and can I say how big this room is? Can I say how pleased I am to be here, particularly with George Souris. Now, can you believe this? Someone gets paid a ministerial salary to Minister for Tourism and Hospitality, major events and racing, and also Minister for the Arts. I think most people would do it for nothing. Often some of you do it for nothing. Look, can I say I'm pleased to be here as part of a new government that's determined to help you grow tourism. And I'm not just talking to New South Wales tourism operators, but to tourism operators across the country, because we know that this city has been, should be, and if we have anything to do with it, will always be the gateway of visitors coming to this country. We recognise that in tourism, in all its forms, are great opportunities for people to create jobs, opportunities for people to create wealth. Both of those things go a long way to maintaining and improving the living standards that we enjoy in this country. But we also understand as a new government that inherits a few difficulties, that there's another benefit of strong economic growth, whether it's in the tourism sector or elsewhere. And that is that as you go about your business, as you go about growing your businesses, as you go about employing more people, providing services of all forms to more people, you also, not always willingly, but happily as far as government's concerned, contribute to state and national revenues. And it's those revenues that any government requires in order to deliver better services to people, to maintain a competitive tax regime, and to ensure that whether you're in tourism or some other area of activity, the infrastructure and services that you rely upon are up to scratch. So I'd like to see more of these events. I'd like to see more of you doing well. I'd like to see more of you doing well across this country, but forgive me for being parochial. We want to see the New South Wales tourism industry grow significantly, and we are committed to doubling visitor numbers by 2020. This exchange, as you know, is a bringing together of people, both national and international, who are all about trying to sell the Australian product. And George, I haven't yet checked, and you can do this when you get to speak on Wednesday, but one of the small changes that I'm determined to try and deliver to events like this, whatever size they are in this city, is to ensure that when you sit down to have a drink, it is hopefully a New South Wales wine. It's one of the things that other states do well. It's one of the things we haven't always done well, but I give tribute to the Sydney Business Chamber, because at the last event I was at, when I checked, as I always do, the wine labels, they had for the first time in a long time supplied us with New South Wales wines. And I understand it wasn't just the Premier's table, it was all the tables in the room. We know that more than $10 million is expected to be injected into this economy as a result of this event. And one of the reasons why during the election campaign we committed ourselves to a boost of tourism is because we understand, as I said at the start, the important place it plays in growing this state's economy, in growing the opportunities available to people, and growing the jobs that are available to our citizens. The last time this conference was in town was 11 years ago, when a young person called Bruce Baird had helped deliver the best ever Sydney Olympics. And we're determined to revitalise that passion, that mojo, that capacity that this state and this city has always had to compete with the best of the world. to set high goals and to achieve those goals. And that's why we committed during the election campaign to work with the industry in this state to establish a visitor economy task force to help achieve our goal of revitalising that can-do spirit that Bruce Baird and his colleagues epitomised those short few years ago. The task force will have a broad mandate that will be about considering and hopefully growing additional airline routes and services to this country and this state, addressing cruise shipping issues, particularly the need for additional cruise berthing facilities east of the Harbour Bridge, establishing destination development strategies for New South Wales top destinations such as Sydney and the Hunter and the Blue Mountains, Randolph, and the delivery of industry development programs so that we sell our best to the world, not just our wine but our beef, our food, all those things that this city, this state has on offer. A new tourism body is to be created called Destination New South Wales to deliver the vision of that visitor economy task force. Destination New South Wales will bring together the expertise of Tourism New South Wales and Events New South Wales so that we have one body charged with marketing this state with its major events calendar that will attract interstate and international visitors. And that's why we have someone who actually gets paid to be tourism and hospitality, major events and racing, and the Minister for the Arts, all in the one person. Because it is all part of the same sector, it is all interdependent, and if we can get them all right, it means that people in this room, whether they're from this state, from this city, or from other states and cities across this nation, will all benefit. Destination New South Wales will be given an additional $40 million in funding to promote New South Wales tourism profile, and will be expected to work closely with all industry partners to promote and market tourism and events. We are a government that understands that not all wisdom resides with government. We're a government that understands that if we are to improve this state, whether in this sector or elsewhere, we need to listen more and work in partnership with those who do it day in, day out. Those who don't have taxes to rely upon to keep businesses open, those who understand the difficulties of investing in businesses, running businesses and maintaining a skilled workforce. And with your support, we know that the goals that we've set for ourselves in this sector can be achieved, and should any of you at any stage believe that Destination New South Wales, or indeed our Minister, isn't listening to people across this sector, come calling on me, because we're determined to ensure that that partnership is real, that partnership is productive, and that partnership delivers better benefits and better services across this state. We're committed to working with the world's biggest sporting, entertainment and major business events and conferences to help grow Sydney's image as a global city and to help rebuild this economy. And events are important because for every $1 million spent on events in New South Wales, it's estimated that almost $6 million in return is delivered to the state's economy. I announced during the election campaign that we were keen to bid for the 2015 IMF World Bank Convention because that would bring something like 10,000 of the world's finance boffins to this city. 10,000 people riding around in cabs, staying in hotels, buying in restaurants, buying goods in our department stores or our smaller businesses, buying souvenirs. All of those things which you know intimately help grow a sector, help grow an economy and help create jobs. It's the start of a long list of events that we intend to chase. But to attract those events, we also need to have world-class convention and exhibition facilities, and that's why, in opposition, we undertook an expression of interest, a scoping study for a new exhibition and convention centre for Sydney, why during the election campaign that we announced that it would be on the site of the existing entertainment centre, and why we're determined to deliver that project in time for that IMF World Bank conference should we be successful. Because we can't afford to continue, as John O'Neill reported 3 years ago, to lose the value of a Rugby World Cup to this city every year because we don't have sufficient convention and exhibition facilities. It's why we're determined to ensure that we double, thanks to Randolph's assistance, tourism funding for regional tourism operators, organisations across this state. We know that whether they're places like the Blue Mountains, whether they're places like Tamworth, or other regional tourism organisations across this state. There are fabulous places to see, there are fabulous places to go, and we know that Sydney should be the gateway to get to those places. So can I say to you, as a new Premier, with a new Tourism Minister, that we want to be your friends, that we are determined to be your best friends, whether you like it or not, because your objectives are our objectives. Your objectives of ensuring that we sell our city and our state and our nation better to those national and international visitors should be something that unites all governments across this country, something that unites government with the sector, and something that we need to work on full time. And in George and I, you have people who are committed to doing that as we seek to make this state number one when it comes to tourism around this country. Thank you.
Exciting times ahead. Thank you very much, Premier, for those words and for taking the time today to visit ATE and meet members of the tourism industry. We're pleased about the government's recognition of the importance of the tourism industry to the state of New South Wales, and we look forward to some exciting times ahead for all of us. Thanks everyone, and enjoy the rest of your meal. Thank you for coming.